You have a superpower, and that superpower is resilience and the courage to fight through fear and to thrive in the face of fear and not freeze up. All right. And so the question is, how do we build resilience? How do we get there? How do we operate in resilience? And so I want to really quickly, before I close up, go through some practical steps that you can use going into this following week in order to build your resilience. And so as fathers, we got to build that bounce back muscle. We got to build that bounce back muscle. I've got 3 solid principles to share with you on how you can start building up that bounce back muscle. Right, a lot of us is in the gym. I don't know if y'all still in the gym. Y'all still keeping that resolution. Y'all still building up muscle. All right, cool. I fell off the wagon, man. I do 10 push-ups after I brush my teeth, and I'm out of there. I'm gone. But here's some practical steps. All right. Step number 1: connect with a community. Connect with the community. Here's the thing: we can't do this alone. Fatherhood is not a solo sport; it's a team sport. And so, connect with a community. Psalm 68:6 says this in the New Living Translation. It says, "God places the lonely in families. He sets the prisoners free and gives them joy, but he makes the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land." God places the lonely into families. God cares about men who are in isolation. A lot of times that verse is used for adoption agencies and ministries and what have you, but I believe that it applies to fatherhood as well, because there's so many fathers that are out there that's living life on an island alone and doing life alone and doing fatherhood alone, and God never intended for you to do so. He wants to place you in a family of other fathers, a family of other men, accountability partners. He wants to place you in community so you can do life together. Proverbs 18 says this: whoever isolates, this is one that just knocks me off my horse every time. Proverbs 18, whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. You need brothers in your life. If there's anything that you take away from this talk, get that. You need brothers in your life. And I get it. We're hardwired as men. We could do it alone. We don't want anybody seeing our junk. I get it. But you need people who will encourage you, who will hold you accountable and remind you that you don't have to carry the load yourself. God didn't design us to go through life alone. He didn't design us to go through hardships alone. And so if you really are grasping this concept of like, listen, I need accountability. I need a brotherhood. I need a community. Just type brother in the chat, right? If you know you need solid community for men to do life with, just type brother in the chat for me right there. Howard Thurman said it best. He says, community cannot for long feed on itself. It can only flourish with the coming of others from beyond, their unknown and undiscovered brothers. He said a community can't feed on itself for long. You need to continuously, you got this need to invite new brothers into this community, right? And I get it. The Drake song, said it best, no new friends. And especially with black men, we really like that. All the friends, I'm 45 years old, all the friends that I need, I know them already. I don't need no new friends, right? Because there's this tension of being vulnerable again, of getting to know someone again, of them knowing who you really are. And we don't want to make any new friends, but our community can't feed on itself. I love what Thurman says right there. He says we can only flourish when we invite new brothers into that fold. Because guess what? Someone needs to hear your story. Someone needs to hear your story. Your story can change someone's life. Someone needs to hear your testimony. Testimony has the power to do 2 things in the court of law. It can convict and set free. Imagine what your testimony is doing in the life of someone else. But you don't want any new friends, right? But we weren't here to be selfish consumers, right? We were here. God believed that God placed us here to be life-giving spirits, as Paul challenged us to be. We need each other to grow. We need each other to thrive and be the best fathers that we can be. Brotherhood helps make up the foundation for resilience. That's what brotherhood does for us. It helps us to make up the foundation for resilience.